Hello and welcome everyone to the Environment Primer series of Drishti IAS. My name is Pragya. In today's insightful episode of Environment Primer, we are going to discuss yet another ambitious animal project that has been recently launched. The title of our today's discussion is Project Cheetah. In this discussion, we are firstly going to study about what is this Project Cheetah. Then we are also going to analyze the significance behind this Project Cheetah. Why is the Indian government trying to reintroduce cheetah in the Indian ecosystem? Then we are also going to try to find an answer to a very important question, that what are the possible reasons behind high cheetah mortality in Project Cheetah? Then we are also going to see and study about what are the challenges that are being faced by the Project Cheetah. And we are also going to look at some of the way forwards in this regard. And lastly, we'll be seeing some of the important questions from the prelims perspective. So if I talk about the background of our today's topic, this ambitious Project Cheetah has finally been launched by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi in the year 2022. So basically this ambitious project has already completed 1 year, but the scientists and the critics are raising questions about the viability of the project, are saying that in the long run this project is not going to be a success. So we are going to try to answer the questions or try to study about that. Is Project Cheetah a success in India, or are we judging it too soon and we should actually give it some time? So in the Project Cheetah, cheetahs were brought from South Africa and Namibia to the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. Kuno National Park in MP. So we have imported cheetahs from South Africa to the Kuno National Park in MP for the successful reintroduction of Project Cheetah. Now let us study about what is this Project Cheetah and exactly what is the significance behind this Project Cheetah. So if I talk about Project Cheetah, we were planning to reintroduce the Project Cheetah since the 2000s. Okay, but what happened in the year 2012? The Honorable Supreme Court of India granted a stay on the reintroduction of the Project Cheetah. And in the year 2020, finally, the Supreme Court agreed that yes, now you are permitted to reintroduce this ambitious project, namely Project Cheetah. And that is why it was launched in the year 2022. So the Cheetah Reintroduction Project in India formally commenced on September 17, 2022 to restore the population of cheetahs which were declared extinct in the country in the year 1952. So that means we do not have naturally occurring cheetahs. They are a thing of the past and they finally became extinct in the year 1952. And the project involves the translocations of cheetah from South Africa and Namibia to the Kuno National Park in MP, as I have informed to you. Okay, now moving forward. Project Cheetah has been a decade in the making, but the first translocation took place only in the year 2022, and I have informed you why. Because the Supreme Court was against the reintroduction of the Project Cheetah. The project aims to reintroduce the graceful feline in India because cheetahs play a very important role in the ecosystem. They are the top predators in the food web. Top predators in the food web. Predators in the food web. So they play a very important role in the ecosystem. They are also known as the top predators in the food web. And if they will be introduced in India, definitely India is going to benefit ecologically from them. And we are going to study about the significance of Project Cheetah in our further slides. So cheetahs are the fastest land animals and can, in short sprints on open ground, reach speeds in excess of 100 km/h. And they are also a part of big cat family. Moving forward, Asiatic cheetahs were once abundant in India, but their numbers dwindled over the centuries due to loss of habitat and the widespread practice of hunting, and that is why they are now extinct in India. The last cheetah in the country died in the year 1952. So it is a fact, or I cannot guarantee that it is a right fact, but it is a fact that there was a Maharaja who shot dead the last three cheetahs in the year 1952. Okay, the animals brought from Namibia and South Africa are the Southeast African cheetahs, a different subspecies, because we have the Asiatic cheetahs. And this African cheetahs are different species. And the sad part of the Project Cheetah is that most of the African cheetahs have died, and that is why this project is being criticized by the scientists. Since 2022, Puno National Park has received 20 cheetahs from Namibia and South Africa with the aim of establishing a free-ranging population of cheetahs in India. So why was this Puno National Park chosen to be the habitats of these African cheetahs? Because it has grassland ecosystem. Grassland ecosystem, and it is rich in prey for cheetahs. Okay, so because cheetahs prey on cheetahs, so it was rich in prey for these African cheetahs, and that is why we reintroduced them in the Puno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. Moving forward, these are some important cheetah facts. So basically, cheetah is the oldest of the big cat species. Ancestors can be traced back about 8.5 million years, and the number of cheetahs are just under 7,500 individuals globally, and that is why the protection status is vulnerable under the IUCN Red List of Species. And if you talk about the Asiatic cheetahs, they are critically endangered on the IUCN Red List of Species. Cheetahs have lost almost 90% of their global habitat, and they now live in only 9% of its historic range. So just imagine the damage we are doing to the climate, the damage we are doing to the natural species and wildlife by deforestation. So cheetahs are also at threat because of the loss of their habitats, as well as the human activities, as well as the climate change. Moving forward, let us analyze the significance of Project Cheetah. Why we are so eager to reintroduce cheetahs in our ecosystem. So reintroduction of cheetahs helps in restoring the natural balance of the ecosystem by reintroduction of a top predator in the food chain, which I have already explained that yes, they are the top predators in the food web. The success of Project Cheetah can serve as a model for the reintroduction of other critically endangered species, which can motivate conservationists and governments to pursue similar efforts for other endangered species like the Great Indian Bustard. So basically, it will motivate the government of India to preserve other such species which are critically endangered in India. And it will also restore the ecological balance in India, because it will promote grassland ecosystem in India. It will also increase the awareness about conservation of the local species by the local communities. So that is why we are so eager to reintroduce cheetahs in our ecosystem. Moving forward, let us analyze that what are the possible reasons behind high mortality in the Project Cheetah, because this is the point that the scientists are arguing about, the scientists are discussing about, and they are criticizing the government on the same. So the first point is improper implementation of the Livestock Importation Act of 1898. So under this act, the quarantine period is of 30 days. Okay, but the African cheetahs which were brought under the Project Cheetah were kept in the quarantine period of 60 days, which adversely affected them. Okay, then there is a problem of extreme heat due to climate change. So the three cubs that were born in the Kuno National Park died due to extreme heat. They died due to dehydration. So definitely extreme heat conditions are the impacts of climate change, and 2023 was the warmest year recorded on the earth. It is a record that has been made by the year 2023. Then there is no sufficient and suitable habitat. So the scientists and the critics are saying that the Kuno National Park is not suitable for the breeding of African cheetahs because it is very small in nature. Because cheetahs require expansive habitat, they cannot travel from one place to another in search of prey, and that is why they are saying that yes, Kuno National Park was not suitable for bringing cheetahs into its ecosystem. Okay, then there is improper implementation of stated release procedure. So basically, cheetahs, after being kept in captivity, had to be released in the wild, and they had to spend 75 months in the wild. But if you will look at reports, they have only spent 16 months in the wild. So basically, you are not increasing their natural characteristics. You are not allowing them a free space. You are trying to breed them in captivity, and that is why there is a high mortality rate in the cheetah. One of the other reasons also include the rubber collar, white rubber collar, because it is damaging the skin of African cheetahs. African cheetahs develop a very thick coated fur because they were anticipating African winters, and in monsoon, India has high monsoon than Africa. So that is why they developed skin infections due to this rubber collars as well, and this has also been determined as a reason for high mortality of cheetahs in the Project Cheetah. Moving forward. Let us analyze what are the challenges that are faced by the Project Cheetah. So firstly, the challenges of lack of a suitable habitat. The scientists are saying that the Indian government made a rush in reintroduction of cheetahs in the India. India does not have a suitable habitat for breeding a different species of cheetah, because we are trying to breed African cheetahs in India. We are not trying to breed Asiatic cheetahs who are accustomed to our habitats and environment. Okay, then less prey availability. They are also saying that there is a less prey availability in the Kuno National Park. Cheetahs cannot travel a long distance for their prey. So basically, they are being fed by the officers only. They are being bred in the captivity, and they are not allowed to go in the wild. Even if they go in the wild, they have to cover a long distance for finding their prey. So all of this is happening. All of these are the challenges that the Project Cheetah is currently facing. Then obviously the climate change impacts, as I have mentioned before also, that yes, 2023 was one of the warmest year on the record of the earth. So the cheetahs died due to dehydration, due to extreme heat wave, and that is why it was also a concern. It is also a challenge that is being faced by the Project Cheetah. Then introduction of African cheetahs to India was carried out without due consideration of their spatial ecology. This is a very important term, spatial ecology, because the scientists and critics are saying that the government is arrogant in ignorance. They did not consider the spatial ecology of the cheetahs before reintroducing it in India. Okay, potentially resulting in conflicts with the local communities in nearby villages. So these were some of the challenges that were faced by the Project Cheetah in India, but it has by and large been successful on many points as well, such as it has increased tourism, it has contributed to the income of the local community, and it 7 new cubs are also born, like 7 new cubs are also born recently in the Kuno National Park. So despite the challenges, it has definitely succeeded on some of the grounds. Moving forward, let us analyze some of the way forwards in this regard. How can we make Project Cheetah even more successful in the long run? Okay, so some of the way forwards can be reconsideration of Asiatic cheetah. So the scientists are arguing that instead of breeding African cheetah that are a different breed, why don't we clone Asiatic cheetahs and breed them? Why don't we consider them? Because Asiatic cheetahs are more suitable to the Indian environment. They used to exist in the Indian environment before they finally became extinct in the year 1952. So they are saying that reconsider the introduction of the cloning of Asiatic cheetahs rather than trying to breed a completely different species from a completely different ecosystem and weather conditions. Then appropriate strategy for monitoring with veterinary oversight. So basically the main cheetah which died due to a renal infection. So basically you need to monitor them. You need to monitor their health regularly. And this is a concern because 7 new cubs are also born. So definitely the officers need to pay attention to the veterinary care. They are dying of infections and this should not have happened. So basically we need to improve their health aspects as well. Then there is knowledge sharing between the countries. We have brought the cheetahs from South Africa and Namibia. So we need to understand how we will successfully be able to breed them. There has to be a knowledge transfer from South African body to the Indian body that is taking care of cheetahs in India. Then there is expansion of habitat area. As we were saying and studying that yes, Kuno National Park has a very low amount of area and cheetahs definitely require a expansive habitat. So why not change their habitat? Why not try to breed them in areas like Rajasthan, which has more area in terms of national parks, etc. So this is also being argued, and as recently the government has changed the national park. Kindly let me know the new habitat of cheetahs in the comment box below. Then involvement of local community in conservation. India has a vast variety of culture and heritage, and definitely we are nature loving people, especially the tribal communities. They love nature, they are nature worshippers. So why don't you involve the local community in your conservation efforts? So definitely it is going to increase the success rate of your project. So they are saying that the local community will also benefit and conservation project will also benefit. So definitely you need to involve the local community in the conservation efforts at the grassroots levels. So see, these are some of the way forwards that can be taken for the enhancement of Project Cheetah. Now coming back to my question, that is it really a success in India or are we judging it too soon? So yes, on some fronts it has been a success, but the deaths are a challenge. Okay, the deaths of the cheetah. We need to figure out new habitats. We need to breed them in wild rather than breed them in captivity, because you are not enhancing their natural features by breeding them in captivity. And definitely we need to translocate them to various national parks. So these can be some of the way forwards that yes, and definitely it is very soon to judge the viability of the project, because this is a very ambitious project, and as per a government report, despite the challenges, this project will be a success in the long run. So it will be better that we wait and watch, because 7 new cubs are born and phase 2 has already started of this project. With this, we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. Now let us analyze some of the important questions from the perspective of your preliminary examination. But before that, I would like to answer the question that I asked in my previous session. Okay, so the question was, consider the following statements. Your statement number 1 was, snow leopard population assessment in India, SPAI, is the first ever scientific exercise reporting 728 snow leopards in India. And I would also like to rectify my mistake in the previous session. I mentioned the number as 718, but the number actually is 728. So kindly rectify this in your notes as well. Your statement number 2 was, India is a party to the Global Snow Leopard and Ecosystem Protection GSLEP program since the year 2015. So your correct answer will be option C. Both 1 and 2 are incorrect. Okay, so both of these statements were incorrect. Moving forward to the practice questions from our today's session. So the question is, consider the following statements. Your statement number 1 was, the discussions to bring the cheetah back to India were initiated in 2009 by the Wildlife Trust of India. Your statement number 2 is, Project Cheetah was approved in the year 2020 by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Which of these statements given above is are correct? Your options are, option A is 1 only, option B is 2 only, option C is both 1 and 2, and option D is none of the above. So I am revealing the true answer or the correct answer for you. Your correct answer will be option C, both 1 and 2. Let us discuss the last question of our today's discussion. So the question is, which of the following best describes the Project Cheetah? Option A, a conservation initiative aimed at protecting endangered cheetah populations. Your option B is a scientific endeavor focus on understanding the behavior and physiology of cheetahs. Your option C is a military project involving the development of high-speed vehicles. And your option D is an educational program dedicated to raising awareness about cheetah. So this answer will be given by you to me in the comment box below. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any questions regarding this session, kindly drop it in the comment box below. If you like the today's discussion and find it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such updates. And if you want to have the PDF of this session, kindly follow us on Telegram, the link which is shared in the description box below. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.